Dirt Trax is sponsored by Can-Am, the ride says it all. Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles. And by Yamaha Motor Canada. What kind of Yamaha are you?
While most days on the job here at Dirt Trax are pretty exciting, there are certain times of the year when special travel stories come up that cause Luke and I to, well, fight like the brothers that we are and bicker and argue it out about who's gonna go. And this week, it's me. Yamaha is one of the only manufacturers taking full advantage of partnerships with brands representing completely outside the box enthusiast sports at their introductions. Yamaha is a quality-aware brand and associates with like-minded companies who share their passion and focus, particularly in the areas of safety and training operators, no matter what the product, in a safe and responsible use. For this week's show, I'm just outside of Phoenix, Arizona at a facility called Gunsite. It's a pretty cool place that trains off-the-street people how to safely and properly defend themselves and their families if a worst-case scenario does arise. With a fully certified and incredibly professional staff, the Gunsite training starts in the classroom, ensuring participants have the practical knowledge and understanding needed prior to actually handling and operating firearms. Now, for a small-town Canadian like me, this is pretty cool. While I do own hunting rifles and shotguns, I have very little experience with assault rifles and handguns. The in-class sessions are both thorough, but more importantly, fully open for questioning, so you get the knowledge you need to feel safe and confident using the equipment provided. And speaking of the equipment provided, the brands that Yamaha has partnerships with in the firearms industry are with some of the most respected brands in the industry, not just by outdoorsmen, but by tactical enthusiasts alike. The Ruger company produces high-quality firearms for hunting, sport shooting, military, and law enforcement, and has a reputation for bulletproof design, consistent and dependable operation, and unwavering durability. And for this event, are providing us with some impressive product.
Well, this week at Gunsite, the editors are going to be shooting the SR9C, which is a compact 9mm pistol made by Ruger, as well as the SR556, which is Ruger's AR-15 platform. This gun has a couple of unique features. One of the things is it's a piston gun rather than a gas impingement gun. That means that it runs cooler and it runs cleaner, which means it runs more reliably. It has this adjustment up here for your gas system. You can turn that off entirely if you don't want the gun to cycle. Comes with a Hogue pistol grip here. Has a adjustable stock. It has Troy Industries sights. They flip up or flip down to get them out of the way if you put some kind of optics on your rail. It has a full quad rail from Troy Industries, and this is really a top-end AR-15 type platform. For someone that's looking for a gun that comes all decked out and ready to go, this is a great gun, the SR556. In the pistol side, we're shooting the SR9C. This is the compact version of Ruger's SR9. SR9C pistol is a striker-fired pistol, has a glass-filled polymer frame. This one has a stainless steel top. We also make a alloy steel top that is blue. It has a loaded chamber indicator, which lets you tell either tactily, like in the dark, or if you just want to double check visually whether the gun is loaded, it will tell you that. It has 3-dot sights on it for perfect sight alignment. It has a manual safety here that you can use your safety if you want to lock the gun. The original pistol that started the Ruger business was, at that time, was called the Standard. Today the version is the Mark III. It's a 22 semi-automatic pistol. I think the ATV vehicles and firearms have a lot in common. One of the things that's important to both Yamaha and Ruger is that people know how to use their products correctly. So that's very important to both companies, that people that buy and use our products are safe with them.
So what does all of this have to do with Yamaha, you might be asking? Well, for 2013, Yamaha has 2 new offerings that has a direct relation with the firearms industry. And no, I'm not talking about hunting. Everyone offers camo, but for 2013, Yamaha has targeted a different group of enthusiasts with a duo of tactical vehicles featuring flat black plastics and tactical graphics. The limited edition is offered on only 2 premium models, the 700 Grizzly and the 700 Rhino. While the basic features of these 2 vehicles stay the same as the 2012s, the tactical styling is impressive and fits in perfectly here at Gunsite. Gunsite is located on over 2,000 acres and features multiple shooting facilities and different scenarios spread across the landscape, from a 1,200-yard sniper shot all the way to tactical breaching facilities, and all of these can be reached by use of an ATV or side-by-side. Using the new tactical units, we were able to cover ground more easily from range to range with the ATV and side-by-sides, while also enjoying the terrain of this area of North America, and have the opportunity to venture out on the facility's grounds to put the tactical units to the test. The new tactical designs are very much a graphics and coloration package and have been placed on Yamaha's two top-of-the-line vehicles, the Grizzly 700 Fi with power steering and Rhino 700 Fi with piggyback shocks. The tactical movement can be seen from pickup trucks to ATVs and has increased in popularity over the past decade exponentially. Blacked out military designs are cool, and Yamaha feels the same. While the looks are quite different, the quality below is what you have come to expect from Yamaha, and these new units are hardworking to the core, while still providing the features and amenities we have all grown to expect from Yamaha, such as horsepower-producing EFI motors and the electronic power steering and plush, confidence-inspiring suspension packages they always deliver. And you can be sure Yamaha will have a fully featured accessory package to trick out your ride and make it unique.
When we came out with the tactical themed unit, then from the accessory side, we want to complement the unit as much as we can. So we came out with a couple different accessories that support the tactical user. So for the Rhino, we have a full line of plastic items, whether that be a cargo box to fit in the bed, a sun top for the roof, over fenders to give you more protection from debris off the wheels, things like that. For tactical, we have a whole range of lighting available, spotlights, additional lighting you can mount on the front grab bar and on the roof support structure. Grizzly comes with 2 full racks. We have a full line of different boxes. So with the tactical shooting enthusiast, those customers, they get their gun and they put different grips, different scopes, all kinds of different products on their guns to customize them or personalize them for their personal needs. So it's the same way with Yamaha accessories and Yamaha products.
If you asked me to take two things that I really enjoy and put them together, I'd be hard-pressed to come up with a better combination than off-road vehicles and firearms. So after experiencing what the ATVs had to offer, it was time for me to get some hands-on tactical training.
At Gunsite, we provide reasonable, responsible firearms training to private citizens, law enforcement, and military. The focus of our firearms training here is on personal protection and defense. While many of the skills that you learn at Gunsite may help you in your sporting use of firearms, the primary focus here is on personal protection and being able to defend yourself from those who would wish to do you harm. Mostly what we will teach you is a mindset. What do you need in your head to not only survive, but to win a deadly encounter? We'll teach you marksmanship skills. How do you actually handle the weapon so that your bullet impacts where you intended it to? We have several levels of defensive handgun. We have several levels of defensive carbine, defensive shotgun, long-range precision rifle. We also offer several specialty classes in foreign weapons and weapons that might be utilized more so by military and police. Gunsite is a full-service operation. Not only do we handle the training, obviously, but we also offer we have a pro shop on site. We have a full-service gunsmith operation on site. If your gun goes down during the course of a class, we are right here on site to fix it and get you back up. At Gunsite, we are certainly all about providing training in safety, responsibility, and providing good citizens. Yamaha is exactly the same.
The level of expertise exuded from the trainers here at Gunsite is pretty incredible. For not handling many handguns in my life, I feel totally confident and absolutely safe in my abilities of shooting this serious weaponry. The Ruger SR 9C pistol is deadly, feels incredible in my hands, and cycles with military precision. Our first training started with basic presentation of the weapon and the proper way to draw and fire. While this seems basic, Gunsite is all about showing you the proper way, and by the end of the initial instruction, I was feeling more confident. Right down to learning how to change the magazine on the fly, we knew the abilities of the gun before moving on to shooting the steel targets. The kick is mild and manageable and allows me to accurately move from target to target with ease. Learning not to flinch when pulling the trigger is important and has helped me to become a much better shot. But I can tell you with confidence, what we see in the movies is just plain fake. Even seasoned, trained shooters on site with us had a hard time making each shot at only a distance of 21 feet. With an instructor over your shoulder at almost all times shouting directions at you, there is no room for error. This is a first-class facility, and let me tell you, it is one heck of a rush. After getting used to the handguns on the paper target range and moving over to the steel targets, we put our newly acquired skills to the test in a shootout, requiring a set of shooters to stand side by side and hit 2 small elevated targets, followed by a ground target, a magazine change, and then finish with a final shot to a target resembling a body outline. The first to do so was the winner. And as for me, I learned that speed means nothing, and accuracy, well, it's everything. Missing quite a bit, but having an absolute blast doing it, and learning much about the right and wrong way to do things in a shootout. While handgun shooting was quite out of my element, using a carbine-style rifle is not, as that's what I shoot at home. So I was quite interested to see what the training was going to be and how my accuracy would increase. You can't help but feel like G.I. Joe with the military-style instruction and quality of the ranges at Gunsite, not to mention the Ruger SR556 assault-style rifle. When I grab a hold of a quality piece of equipment like this and point it down range, it's quite a rush. As with the handguns, we received full instructions, from proper holding to loading and magazine changes. Our initial instruction of shooting was at paper targets, and we were able to shoot back to a distance of 35 yards. Not a long shot, but trying to make an accurate center of eye opening headshot twice in a row requires some skill. While we didn't get to shoot at the same steel targets with the carbines, they had something else way more fun lined up for us that required accurate long distance shooting, movement, and an increased heart rate while staring down the sights of the gun.
Hit, move.
The Scrambler course, as they call it, was a series of 8 shooting setups with targets at distances of 50 to over 100 yards. You started by setting up on a perch of a tree, and the instructor would tell you to start. After making your shot, you move to the next target as fast as you could while being safe and continue to the end of the course. Some shots require a standing, unsupported shot to be made, while others allowed you to kneel and support the rifle. The best time made on this course was 36 seconds by a military personnel. I was able to do it in 56 and felt pretty good about it. It was an experience you don't often get to have, and challenged both my mind and body. But then again, that's what Gunsite's all about, and why Yamaha brought us here. While most of the new models that manufacturers introduce I can directly relate to, tactical just is not one of those. But thanks to the team at Yamaha, they gave us newbies a tactical experience that we will never forget, and a better understanding of what tactical truly means to the discerning buyer.
Today on Test Ride, we're going to ring out the most prolific, largest selling, and maybe the most enduring ATV in the entire industry. Polaris's Sportsman 500 Classic has sold more than 1 million copies, and we're committed to finding out how and why Polaris has been able to do this. When Polaris first introduced the Sportsman 500 in 1996, we're pretty sure even they didn't know how big an impression the first 4-stroke Polaris with independent rear suspension would make. In the ensuing years, the Sportsman name has become genuinely iconic in the ATV industry. In fact, Polaris will tell you much of the reason for their incredible upward spiral to the industry's #1 market share holder is rooted in the success of the Sportsman 500. So why is the Sportsman such a big hit? Listen up, the list is long. Fully independent rear suspension, McPherson strut front suspension, fully composite running boards and racks, true shiftable 4x4, high-low range sub-tranny, single lever brakes, and a torquey and responsive 4-valve 4-stroke single. And here's the twist. Before the Sportsman arrived, you couldn't get half of these goodies on any ATV at any price. Come to think of it, the root of the Sportsman's magic dust appeal is really rooted in innovation. Back in the early 90s, Polaris rocked the industry with their fully automatic CVT transmission, eliminating annoying gear shifting and making ATV easier for newbies. You know what happened? One by one, almost every ATV maker made the move to CVTs. Polaris' true 4x4 system, requiring no diff locker, is another innovation which has brought tons of buyers to Polaris showrooms. All Polaris ATVs lock all 4 wheels when traction is low, then automatically release the lock when traction returns. Maybe one thing we can't put an acronym or a name to is Sportsman ride and handling. From day one, Polaris ATVs have always had superb, confidence-inspiring suspension that genuinely increases rider comfort. Same thing with handling. The max struts up front provide ultra-stable front-end geometry, making the Sportsman steer precisely on twisty trails. It wouldn't be fair to say that the Sportsman 500 Classic is exactly the same as the original Sportsman 500. Along the way, the Sportsman 500 became the Sportsman 500 HO, adding about 5 more ponies. And there's been 3 variations on the bodywork to get to what you see here today in the Classic. Most importantly, though, has been the repositioning and raising of the front radiator to respond to mud clogging issues. Polaris has other 500 class offerings which are more sophisticated than this 500 Classic. However, we gotta tell you, there are still ATV OEMs which haven't matched, forget exceeding, this Classic 500 Sportsman in function or standard equipment after 16 years in the marketplace. With Polaris offering so many models in the 500 class, including the innovative Sportsman 550 XP, they have made it clear that they will not let any customer's expectations go unanswered, and they will not leave any money on the table when you go shopping for a new ATV. This brings up another subject, the Sportsman 500 Classic's MSRP. Frankly, we're hard-pressed to offer opinions on the wisdom of purchasing a late-model used ATV when the Sportsman 500 comes in a price which makes just about every 1 to 5 year old used ATV in the 500 class look too expensive. We're pretty sure many brand new Classic 500s with a full warranty are sold to buyers who are looking for used ATVs. Add in this reality. If the Sportsman 500 Classic came with less equipment or performed at a lower level, you might still justify its purchase based on its great price. Good news, you don't have to accept less. Based on our head-to-head performance comparisons, the 500 Classic performs at or near the top of its class, and when ride and handling are factored in, this vehicle capably rides and handles as good as any 500 class ATV. So we think we can answer our intro question of how Polaris sold so many Sportsman 500 HOs since 1996. It's all about value. When the dust settles, the Sportsman gives 500 class buyers their most wanted features, which, by the way, Polaris introduced 16 years ago and some OEMs still haven't matched today. Add in this reality, the Classic gives buyers great performance from a proven 500cc mill they've built more than 1 million copies of. So we just figured it out. Polaris knows it's all about value. When you head out in search of a new ride, you want to get the most stuff for your hard-earned jing. And when you push open the front door of your local Polaris dealer in search of a great ride, you're going to see this ATV front and center. So here's our advice. You better get down there and pick up your copy soon, just in case Polaris changes their mind and raises the price. So you might be wondering what's going on in the ATV and side-by-side business after watching this week's episode of Dirt Trax with our visit to Gunsite, a tactical weaponry training facility in the United States. Here's what's going on. We have already seen tons of packages that specialize ATVs and side-by-sides for use by hunters, fishermen, duck hunters, camo packages, you name it, the OEs are getting on that bandwagon. And because side-by-side vehicles in particular are so versatile, the OEs want to make sure that they build packages that are going to cater to your particular need. After all, there is nothing more versatile than an ATV than a side-by-side vehicle. So sit back, relax, and watch more Dirt Trax coming up, because you're going to see a lot more specialization on the vehicles that we test and evaluate every week.
Can't get enough of Dirt Trax television? Log on to DirtTraxTV.com to watch all your favorite episodes and visit our Facebook page to share your thoughts with other fans of Dirt Trax. Dirt Trax Television has been sponsored by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles. Can-Am, the ride says it all. And by Arctic Cat, share our passion.